In the bustling ancient city of Athens, there resided a merchant by the name of Philocrates. Despite his reasonable prosperity in trade, Philocrates was haunted by perpetual worry and anxiety. His thoughts were consumed by endless concerns, the looming threat of shipwrecks jeopardizing his goods, the fear of fires ravaging his warehouse, and the dread of dishonest business partners cheating him. One morning, as Philocrates walked the streets of the agora weighed down by his usual anxieties, he failed to notice an elderly man sitting on a simple stool by the market entrance until he nearly collided with him. "You seem deeply troubled, young man," the elder said calmly. "What misfortune has caused you so much anguish?" Philocrates felt somewhat surprised because he wasn't dealing with any significant crisis at the moment. "I don't really have any specific misfortune," he admitted. "I'm just constantly worried about all the things that could go wrong with my business." The elderly man, deep in thought. "It seems to me that your own worries are weighing you down more than any actual troubles happening right now," he observed. "Come, let us speak further. I am Solon," he said, introducing himself. Solon is a scholar of the great philosophy of Stoicism. Both of them went to a quiet, shaded spot beneath an olive tree, away from the clamor of the market. Solon began, "To understand the root of your anxiety, let me recount a tale. There was once a farmer who employed a faithful servant named Aesopus to work his lands. One night, Aesopus had a dream that he stumbled upon a vast treasure buried in a field on his master's property. When Aesopus woke up, he found himself consumed by visions of great wealth. With such riches, he could buy his freedom and explore the world without a care in the world. The servant fell into a deep obsession, consumed by the singular goal of digging up his master's entire farmland in a relentless pursuit of the imagined treasure from his dream. Day after day, he ignored all his usual responsibilities, mindlessly excavating and destroying the crops and soil in his quest for this non-existent treasure. After weeks of witnessing this erratic behavior, the farmer reached his breaking point. He confronted Aesopus, demanding an explanation for neglecting his duties and ruining the farm's productivity. When Aesopus recounted the dream that had driven his actions, the master burst into uproarious laughter, unable to contain his amusement. "You foolish man," he cried out. "By endlessly tormenting yourself over this imaginary wealth that doesn't even exist in reality, you've squandered the true treasures right within your grasp, your stable employment, housing, and food secured through loyal service to me. You've traded the present gifts of security for a fruitless obsession with a mere dream." Solon looked directly at Philocrates. "Can't you see the similarity to your own worries?" he said. "Just like Aesopus, you're throwing away the good things in your life, your health, prosperity, and peace of mind, by constantly fretting over things that might not even happen. They're just figments of your imagination, not real problems." His expression fell as sudden realization dawned. All the time and energy he'd wasted fretting over things that hadn't even occurred. Solon's words struck him deeply. "How can I break free from this prison of anxiety and constant worrying?" Philocrates asked sincerely. Solon smiled kindly. "We can't control everything life throws at us or predict the future accurately," he said. "But we can learn to control ourselves, our thoughts, what we care about, what we want, and what scares us by using reason and accepting what's actually in our power to change." The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us the freedom we gain when we learn to control our minds by focusing on what we can and can't change. We should let go of worrying about things beyond our control and concentrate our efforts on what we can influence, our decisions, actions, and attitudes right now. Philocrates listened intently to this profound message, which echoed the renowned words of wisdom often attributed to the great Stoic philosopher Lucius Annaeus Seneca. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. "What you're saying isn't easy," Philocrates replied sincerely. "But now I realize how much my constant worrying about things I can't control has completely taken away my ability to focus on more positive and productive things in life." "It does take some hard work," Solon admitted, nodding. "But if you persevere, you'll find yourself feeling more free and able to handle life's ups and downs with a clear head and inner calm. You'll be able to focus on what you have right now and make the most of it. Philocrates rose to his feet, a newfound lightness filling him. "Solon, your words have really struck a chord with me," he said earnestly. "I'm determined to live each day fully in the present, rather than letting my anxious thoughts rule over me." As Philocrates embraced the elderly sage, he felt a heavy weight lifted off his shoulders. The grip of his constant worries seemed to loosen, and he saw a new path ahead, a life guided by reason, virtue, and gratitude for what he already had, rather than being held back by imagined troubles. Following the ancient teachings of Stoicism, Philocrates worked hard to differentiate between unfounded fears and real challenges. He faced each obstacle with logic and strength, while also learning to appreciate the good things in life and his relationships more. Through this process, he let go of the constant worries that had weighed him down. He became a person filled with calmness, strength, and gratitude for the blessings around him every day. By listening to Solon's advice and embracing Stoic principles, Philocrates freed himself from unnecessary anxiety about the future. He gained resilience, peace of mind, and a deeper appreciation for the present moment that he had been searching for. The wisdom shared in this story is timeless and relevant to our lives today. Often, we get caught up in worrying about things that may or may not happen in the future. A student might stress about an upcoming exam, imagining failing and letting down their parents. Or a professional might spend their commute worrying about potential work issues, stressing about scenarios that have not even happened. We spend so much time imagining worst-case scenarios, dwelling on potential problems, and letting our minds be consumed by what-ifs. But as the story reminds us, by constantly worrying about things beyond our control, we end up missing out on the present and the blessings we already have. We sacrifice our peace of mind, productivity, and ability to appreciate what's good in our lives for an obsession with imaginary problems. It's like worrying endlessly about losing your job when you still have it, and in the process, letting your work suffer due to stress and distraction. Stoic philosophy teaches us the freedom that comes from controlling our thoughts and focusing on what we can influence. We can't control every circumstance, but we can control how we respond. While we can't control traffic, we can choose how to react to it, like listening to a podcast instead of getting frustrated. In our busy lives, filled with distractions and uncertainties, it's important to let go of what we can't control and focus on what we can, our actions, decisions, and attitudes in the present. Instead of worrying about a potential layoff, we can focus on updating our resume and networking. By embracing this wisdom, we can live more fully in the present rather than letting anxiety rule us. We can find inner calm, clarity, and resilience to handle life's challenges. Imagine enjoying time at the park with your family instead of worrying about a work issue. It takes effort, but the rewards are huge: freedom, appreciation for what we have, and the ability to make the most of each day. This story reminds us to shift our focus from future worries to the present opportunities. By doing so, we can live with more joy, productivity, and presence of mind.